Through my work, I meet a huge amount of artists, and they very much fall into two camps, those with a plan and those without a plan. And believe it or not, it makes a massive difference. Those people with a plan know where they're going and why they're doing what they're doing. And the wonderful byproduct of that is a sense of confidence that is very useful when you're trying to navigate the art world. Now, I realize that some of you will never have had a plan and you don't know where to start. And some of you will already have a plan or have had a plan in the past, but sticking to it is very difficult. And you're not alone. The methods that I'm going to show you will help you stick to the plan. I'm going to explain why a plan is so important. I'm going to show you how to write your plan and how to get the most out of it. Now, your creative practice is where you need time and space for ideas to germinate. It's an organic process where experimentation is all. So you kind of need to go with the flow. Now, forget all of that, because planning is not like that at all. It's formulaic and it's a deliberate task. I want you to approach planning in a completely different way that you would your studio practice. I want you to approach it in a very strategic way.
You might think that planning will put you into a box, that it's going to make life too rigid, that it might take away any room that you have to be spontaneous, to experiment or play, all things which are really important in your creative practice. But actually, the paradox is that it really doesn't. It gives you a lot of freedom.
We know that by the artists that we work with, it gives you the freedom to be flexible. And I think that's because when you've got a clear business plan, it fosters a sense of freedom in your studio practice. And that can only be a good thing. And I think if you don't have a plan, what you're inclined to do is do everybody else's plan. Don't just do what your friend is doing, as everyone will have a different vision. And I understand how easy it is just to follow someone else. An artist you know or you like is doing something, so you do it. But by the end of this, I'm sure I will have convinced you to have your own bespoke plan. And this will give you confidence. You'll know where you're going and you'll see progress, which is incredibly rewarding and very satisfying. It will certainly alleviate the symptoms, if not cure, imposter syndrome, which I know the majority of artists suffer from.
We recommend separating the planning from the doing. What do I mean by that? It's helpful to create the plan first and implement it later, because you're in a different brain space, you're in a different frame of mind when you're planning, when you're thinking about your vision versus when you're actually sitting down and doing it. And it really saves you from constantly making new micro decisions. It's a bit like preparing your clothes the night before or preparing a lunchbox so that when it comes down to it, you know exactly what you're doing. Making a plan is just like that. I know it sounds basic, but it's a way for you to save very critical brain space so that actually the important decisions that you're going to be making are going to be about your studio practice and are going to be creative. So rather than showing up to the studio wondering what you're doing, you have a clear plan to follow. This session and your planning in general is going to have 3 stages. First, the vision, which is your big picture, your 3-year goals. Second is your actual plan, and that is going to be a very practical 1-year horizon. And then third stage is going to be the implementation, which is going to be your 3-month really nitty-gritty working plan. And Penny's going to walk you step by step so you can start asking yourself questions, you can start writing it down, and hopefully by the end of this session, you will have a vision, the skeleton of bits of your plan, and then you can go on refining this working document.
I'm going to add there that you do need to recognize that you're going to have to invest time to achieve these 3 stages. Really be aware it's going to take time. It's not a 5-minute job. It will probably take you maybe half a day to a day to write your year plan. Then You need to allocate probably a couple of hours every 3 months to review your 3-month plan and then to write a new 3-month plan. But don't worry, I'm going to talk you through all of this.
Okay, so stage one is the vision, which is your 3-year goals.
This is what do you want? Don't worry too much at the moment about being specific. We just want to get you in the right destination. I want you to think about a maximum of 3 bullet points. I've given you some examples here of what they might be. Perhaps your 3-year goal is I want to be a full-time artist. Maybe you've got a part-time job at the moment, or maybe you've got a full-time job at the moment and you want to become full-time practicing artist. Is it to reach an income target? Are you working as an artist now, bringing some sales in, but you actually want to increase that and you want to support yourself completely through that? Maybe you want to have gallery representation. This is often a vision that artists identify that this is something they want to do. Maybe you've got a gallery already and you want to get a better gallery, or you want to get more galleries. Maybe it's something that you want to get galleries in different territories or countries. Maybe that's your goal. Perhaps you might want to scale up. You might be working on a really small scale at the moment. You want maybe domestic scale, and you want to look at more ambitious works or something that maybe isn't a commercial sale, that you want to look at something that brings a different kind of funding. That's the kind of thing you might have in your vision. When I'm helping artists create these visions, which I do on a regular basis, perhaps it helps to make you think about the artist you want to be rather than the artist you are now. I want you to have a level of ambition in this vision. Think about your long-term goals. What are those goals and ambitions? Remember, they've got to have some degree of practicality, but don't worry if you can't be specific at this stage when writing your very first vision bullet points. You just need to make sure that you have a vague destination, because that's what this is all about. You need to start traveling in the right direction. It doesn't matter the speed. Some of you are going to write these visions and get there a lot quicker than 3 years. Some of you are going to take 3 years to get there, but it doesn't matter. It's not a race. It's just a target for yourself. But whatever you do, you've got to be moving in the right direction.
I love that. And I think it's so important to think of the artist you want to be. I also think, as you said, it's not a race. Having that vision is what really helps artists make the most progress in the quickest, most efficient and effective way. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch the full 1-hour interview and get top tips from an expert, then click the link below and join the Art Ladder mentoring program now. By joining the Art Ladder, you will get access to our full library of webinars with curators, collectors, critics, gallerists, and more. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this, and check out the description below for more free resources for artists.